Hello there, little internet people. My name is Dave, and today we're bringing you another exciting episode of Last Week I Did A. Once again, I have made it past the year mark, which means now I've worked 12 years in the same company. And like every year, once you've hit past the 10-year mark, you get whisked away to a mystery location for fun and frolics. And obviously this year was no exception, as we were flown all the way to Budapest. But of course, firstly I had to make it down to Luton Airport, which entailed 3 harrowing trains and 1 sweaty, cramped-in bus journey. We got our boarding passes, we were told we could take 1 suitcase on, but for some reason my bag wasn't allowed on, so little Jumanji had to stay where he was and meet me in Budapest. So after a 2.5-hour flight, we arrived at the 5-star Kempinski Hotel in Budapest. And what's the first thing you do as soon as you get to a hotel? That's right, you go and check out your room. Or check into your room, technically, not check out. A spacious, luxurious twin room with some impressive features, such as a desk for business, a monstrous bathroom with a separate toilet cubicle and shower cubicle, and a phone in the ***er. We headed down to the hotel bar for a couple of drinks and a couple of chats. We then ushered the evening in with a buffet dinner and some light entertainment. The entertainment generally consisted of a bunch of people consistently slapping the shit out of themselves for about 10 minutes. A musical chairs type of treasure hunt game.
Only coins.
And then Aldi's own version of Daft Punk. All in all, it was actually very entertaining and really cool. I really enjoyed all of it. The evening concluded with more beers, a lot more wine, and some impressively made cocktails which finished me off about 3 AM, or what's now known as Dave's passing out time. Day 2 started with an unhealthy amount of vomit, followed by a short bus journey to the thermal spas. This was the worst bus journey I've ever had. Hungover, sweaty, feeling like you're about to Ralph everywhere.
I'm in danger!
Just don't do it. The tour guide actually told us that trips to the thermal spa were actually prescribed by doctors to deal with anything like arthritis, gastro problems, and hernias. Hi there, doctor. I've got a bit of a problem, really. Yeah, you stink. Go to the baths. It's a bit weird to film inside of thermal baths, really, but here's a couple of shots of the architecture so you can see exactly what it looks like, and some outdoor shots. Luckily for me, within 20 minutes of sitting in a 38-degree sulphuric bath, the alcohol was flushed free from me, and it was the perfect hangover cure. But we ducked out a little bit early just so we could pop to the local zoo. And we saw sloths, an alligator, armadillos, snakes, seals, penguins, polar bears, orangutans, gorillas, some bighorn bastard, flamingos, zebras, elephants, a rhino's ass, camels, and sharks. An impressive selection of animals for such a landlocked country. Never have I been part of such an excitable group of what was supposed to be adults running round a zoo at hyper speed to see everything. After a quick spot lunch, which comprised of duck, jasmine rice, and the worst cabbage-made noodles I've ever had, we decided to go for a quick guided tour of Budapest. When a tour starts off with the tour guide going into very graphic detail about how the country were very quick to join the Nazi regime and murder 12% of their population for being Jewish, you know that this is going to be some form of adventure. The scenery was really nice. until more Holocaust stories were told and we actually drove past the Holocaust Shoe Memorial. Originally, I didn't want to include anything to do with the bronze cast shoe memorial that's in Budapest, but I feel it's important that we never forget nor we deny the impact and suffering such a senseless genocide had on the world. It was a horrible and humbling experience to see. But we caught up with bus tour number 1 and asked if they had the same sort of experience. But it turns out nothing like that was mentioned on their bus. It must have just been our guy that was a bit either... It was at this point that we got off the bus and we splintered away from our driver, Adolf, and had a quick look round the Fisherman's Bastion, which is so far away from the water. I don't know how they were able to fish from that sort of distance. It made no sense to me. But this had the best views of Budapest around, and I really enjoyed it. We then had an hour or two to get changed before Goebbels decided to take us back to our next event, which was a ruins bar called Dobos. There we were met with more beer, wine, stilt walkers, and more entrees. And this is before the fire breathers kicked off. One of them looked like a European Tim Minchin, and the other looked like every single nefarious bad guy in every movie you've ever seen. And they were f***ing awesome. Dinner arrived in the form of a meat buffet and a giant f***ing donut wall. Not gonna lie, I might have had 2, might have had 3 of them donuts, but it's difficult to keep up this wonderful figure if you don't eat donuts. And that's a doctor's health tip. Doctor, I've just been feeling really bad recently. Yeah. What can you suggest? You ever been to a donut wall, Tubby? Take this. F*** off. Shortly after this, Negasonic Teenage Warhead from the X-Men universe turned up, did some hoop-based contortionary shit, before being joined by Chuck Rock and Captain Nefario to do some more incredible acrobatics. It was amazing, again, incredible. And after a walk back to the hotel, we decided we were going to jump on the Hungarian version of the London Eye. Ironically called the Budapest Eye. Again, there were some amazing views of Budapest from up there. I got to catch up with some old friends, I got to make some new ones, I drank until I was sick, floated in a big sulphuric bath probably filled with 100 Hungarian people's p***s, ate too much cabbage, saw some animals, saw fire breathers in a ruined bar, and learned far too much about the Holocaust than I would have liked to on a small trip. Everybody that arranged this trip did such a f***ing spectacular job, and they should be so proud of everything that they accomplished. I've said before that every day in my job is an adventure, but this actually was. It was incredible. Thank you very much for watching this, and I'll do this again, probably next year. It seems to be the track record. In that case, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Tatty bye!